Not everybody's going to have access to a fucking chin-up bar. Justine was like, I don't think I'm going to come because blah, blah, blah. I went back and was like, oh, are you still in the same gym as before? Well, this is what you can do for it. So I don't know about Michelle, like what she's going to actually have access to, but we'll figure it out. So you're going to do chin-ups. As many reps as possible, leaving 2 in the tank. That might be for Jen. She's going to do a seated pull down with her cable. Okay. You're going to pair that with a plyo push-up. If you have a band that you can put across the bottom of like a rig, or I just have mine attached to like my rack, you could do a plyo push-up off of the ground with like the band to assist you. You can also do it off of a bench. So like, it doesn't matter. You're doing 2 upper body exercises paired back to back. So like Michelle, you can literally do a bench press and then you're going to pair it with a plyo push-up. Okay. Alex will do her cable pull down. Ross will do a chin up. Like Justine's going to step up onto her bar. She's going to jump up and she's going to slow lower because she doesn't have a weight assist variation. So like in my mind, I think that you can do at least 5 chin-ups with some sort of like a band, but make sure you're not blowing your load. You're leaving 2 in the tank for this. Could it be body weight? Yeah. Does everybody have a body weight chin-up? Not necessarily. So like you're not trying to do so many because we're going to superset it with another upper body exercise. Okay. So you can play it by ear on your own. Justine, I want you to do 5.
Which grip? Over or under? I always forget.
Under. Good. Michelle, you can do 8 to 10 with that weight. Yep. Yep. Letting yourself hang all the way down, Katie Morgan. This is going to be you're going to be sore tomorrow and the next day, and you're going to love me. Good. Jen, awesome. Good. Now, I'm going to show you the setup that I have here when I don't really think anybody's going to actually like be able to do it. And then I'm going to show you the way that we can do it on the bench. Okay. So, cause I just think it's like awkward. It is cool, but if you're not at a gym with a bunch of equipment, it's going to be hard. So if I go like this, do you see how I have those bands like ghetto-ly set up over here? I can literally use the bands to help me do a push-up. So I literally have the band right here across my pelvis. Like I could set that up in the squat rack and I go down, push down, push down. I'm doing like a plyo push-up against this band. The same exact thing is true if you go on a bench and you set yourself up here. You're going to go down, push away, down, push away, down, push away. Okay? I want you to do 6 to 8 plyo push-ups off of a bench.
Is the plyo part when you're pushing away and going up?
Yes. So your knees are staying kind of bent. Yep. Nice. And you're just doing the best that you can. So as I've explained many times, it is interesting, but I like a good challenge working with people with all different kinds of equipment and keeping just like, I don't know, trying to be considerate to people because I want them to be able to get the workout in. So we just paired 2 upper body exercises, right? What we're going to do, see this? Okay, wait, I want to try something. Because they say you can like do this. Look. Okay. Anyway. I saw this thing that was like all these, and I was like, oh, I want to try that one. I want to try that. Anyway, we're going to do some knee bends that are dynamic. I know that sounds like so boring, but.
Huh? Did you do it, man?
Oh, was that yours? I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. Is this like, is that a stranger? Do you know who that person is?
Yeah, it's the kid from my office. We're traveling for work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I know.
I'm done with it.
I want you to get in a split squat position, and we're going to dynamically bend at the knee and drop into a split squat. This is rest. Okay. This is rest. because we're going to go back and we're going to superset the upper body. Okay. I'm just like letting your upper body have a little bit of a rest. So you can think about it this way. Say I'm in this split squat position. If you're someone who really struggles to keep the heel heavy, you might put something underneath your first med head. You might put something underneath the start of the arch. You might put nothing there. I want you to just think to yourself, how do I just imagine allowing my knee to bend and dropping down into a split squat? And you're going to do it 8 times on each leg. So I'm literally just doing this. Drop, 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 Does that make sense? I'm literally keeping my heel heavy and I'm just letting my knee bend. And a lot of people aren't very good at that. Just let the knee bend. Heel is heavy, let the knee bend. Let your torso kind of rotate over the front leg. You're literally just keeping the heel heavy and allowing the knee to bend. And you're going to do that 8 times on one side, 8 times on the other side. I have other exercises that I want to work on in this month, but for today, this is the filler exercise that we're going to use. Okay. Then you're going to go back to the chin-ups, the pull-downs, your chest press, and you're going to do that AMRAP with the chin-ups. You'll probably do 8 to 10 if you're doing pull-downs or you're doing a chest press, and we're going to pair that with the plyo push-up.
When are we doing warm-up?
You missed it.
I know I missed it.
It's all good. You'll be fine. You're not going to die. So allowing the shoulder blades to move on the rib cage, regardless of the version that you're doing. So if you're doing a chest press, Michelle, I want to feel your scaps come off of your back. You're going to inhale into your chest, exhale, reach away. Inhale into your chest, exhale, reach away. You're staying in a stacked position. Ross, same thing. Jen, love it with that attachment, really seeing the shoulder blades move on your rib cage. Rebecca's going to shock herself in the vag with that band anytime. Hello, Evelyn. I see you working out. Nice. Then you're going to go right into that plyo push-up. You're going to think to yourself, can I do 6 to 8, getting dynamic off of the bench? I'll exhale as I push myself away. I'm not locking out my knees. I'm not bearing through my rib cage. Yeah, we're paying attention to position. I can inhale myself down, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Your active rest is your knee bends. So I'm going to show the knee bends again because I want you to watch yourself in the camera. This is where I feel like Zoom can be really cool because not everybody has mirrors, right? But look at my butt in relation to my torso. I don't want to be doing too much of a hinge position because that might put pressure on my knee. And again, there might be like, oh, I feel like I use my knees a little bit more, but like, how are you going to get to the next like threshold if you don't sort of push it? I'm not concerned. I'm not worried about it. So if I'm here, I'm going to think, how do I just like casually like let my knee bend, right? Instead of really thinking about it, but not flexing so far forward, or if you watch my butt, sort of like I'm just falling and my pelvis comes underneath me. Yes. Looks great. Nice, Alex, so much better.
Can you see Nick too?
Oh, he can't, he's waving at me, but
Um,
I'm muted. I'm good. I feel like everybody should bring a buddy. Have a little friend. Good, Jen, especially on the left. That looks great. Guess what? Grab a drink and
Okay.
keep going again. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way up. We'll work our way up to 4 sets. But like I said, if this is the first time we're doing this day C, we'll be doing it a bunch of times in February. So think about what was the number of chin-ups that you were able to do. You want to try to maintain that number, right? And I'm not trying to blow my load again. Like I'm not trying to do it where I can't complete the last repetition, right? So like I'm having Justine do eccentric negatives because that's what she has equipment for. You use a band that you can get, 5 to 6 repetitions of the chin up in. You use weights that you can do 8 to 10 of the chest press in, 8 to 10 of the pull downs in, right? You're thinking about rib cage and pelvic position. Good. And letting yourself hang in that like bottom position, Katie Morgan, is going to be really good, right? You're going to get a big stretch in those like lats and just like all your shoulder blades and stuff. Nice, Marcy. You're pairing them with the plyo push-ups. You can drag your heels up the wall and do them on your knees if you feel like your pelvis is all over the place. If you have a band, you can do the weird version that I was doing. Be on a bench. You're just trying to get more explosive through that upper body.
Are we gonna do any more? Another set?
We're just gonna do 3 sets. So if you've done 3 sets, you're resting. So you want to be able to do like your rest of the knee bends. So like after you did the push-ups, do 1 more set of the knee bends. Katie Morgan, when you start, don't let your right leg be so straight and try to exhale your low ribs back a little bit more. So like bend in your right leg and then take your hands underneath your ribs and push them back. Then kind of drop down. Yes, that. So like I said before, and I don't know, I'm always kind of like upfront with this. Like we've done a ton of pronation stuff. We've done a ton of foot stuff, but not every rep's going to be perfect. So like if tomorrow or the next day you're like, oh, like the top of my quads, my knee feels like a little bit sore. Don't freak the fuck out about it. Foam roll your quads, foam roll your calves. Like moving through it is going to be the answer because we're going to do more stuff on the lower body today as well. So just grab a drink. Because we're about to get the real fun started. So the next exercise is going to be a combination of, I don't know, probably like 10 different skills that we have learned over a period of time. Okay. So I'm going to break it down and give you options based off of what you feel comfortable with. Okay. So one of the main things that we work on is a co-contraction. So like stabilizing the knee joint by activating the quads, the hamstrings, and the calves. Okay, so then we are able to produce power through that joint instead of locking the knee out all the time, right? So the most basic form of that is basically like a hinge to a Bosch clean to the box. That's how we're going to just start. So like first set is going to be you grab onto a dumbbell, you have it in your hand. We've done this, I don't know, fucking a million times. I'm going to hinge into like a single leg deadlift. I have a weight in my right hand. My left hand's on my left butt. I have my heel lifted up off the ground with my knee bent. I'm going to hinge down, open my butt, and then I just push off and explode. But look, my knee is still bent. I've extended through my hip and my heel's off the ground. Okay? Down, Open my butt. Extend at the hip. I'm falling into the box. Okay? Like, everybody wants to do these really cool, like, I don't know, more advanced exercises, but like if you don't have the foundational components down, if you constantly like lock out your knees when you do a deadlift, you don't have the co-contraction down, okay? And for a long time, like I didn't have it down either. And like I couldn't fucking jump. And I would feel things in my knees and in my back, okay? So I think it's really important just to remind you that you are capable of doing all these cool exercises, but sometimes you have to regress them back down and see what they're built out of. And then you're more successful with the exercise. So make sure when you come to stand, your knee is slightly bent still. So the hip extension is coming from your hip, not locking out your knee. Okay. I want you to do 10 of these on each leg. The heel of the leg that's forward should be off of the ground. So front heel off the ground.
Always?
At all times.
Yes.
That's weird.
You can
Even
do
when
it.
you're going
not-
step, even
The
when you
front-
step on the
so-
bench.
Well, you have to think about when you start with your front leg, it becomes your back leg. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I gotta get up on the bench, I guess. Okay. You say so.
Marcy always likes.
Can you
to-
show it one more time? Sorry. Can you show
you're
it
fine.
one more time?
So if I'm here, and it's not like you're on like your tippy toes, it's just your heels off the ground. That might mean it's like the size of a quarter off the ground. Do you know what I mean? If this is my left leg, I'm going into a hinge, my heels off the ground. So I'm tensioning on that hamstring, and then I'm just going up. Okay? My heels down, my heels up as I go down. Up.
I really feel it in my calf.
That's your weak link then. And that's fine. So to me, it comes like full circle when like I love doing kettlebells, but like where was I actually getting my power from? When I would like lock out my knees and my lower back, right? That's why it didn't feel so good. So all of these co-contractions can help you be more powerful and more dynamic, okay? So next variation is going to be that tall kneeling bicep curl with press. If you don't have access to a foam roller, you're literally just going to give me a push press and you're going to do 6 to 8 on either side. Pushing into something is going to allow you to rotate more at the torso. So if you're limited overhead, that's the version that you're going to want to do. If you're like Justine, limited equipment, doesn't have limitations in overhead flexion, really, you can do a push press. Okay, so I'm going to show the options. I grab onto my long foam roller and I'm in a half kneeling position. I grab onto a weight that I can bicep curl and press with at least 6 to 8 times. What I want you to see is just what's happening at the rib cage to let me be able to go overhead. So like if my right knee is down, I can do 2 knees down. What's going to be difficult about 2 knees down? If your pelvis is already dumped forward, it might be too hard with 2 knees down. Okay, so try it, you decide. If I'm going to press with my right side, I'm going to take my roller out in front of me, turning me, my pelvis, my torso to the right. I'm going to hold onto a weight right here. Push in with my left hand. I'm going to perform a bicep curl with an exhalation, and then I'm going to inhale overhead press. Now, Jen, is this going to be super heavy for you? No. If it's hard for you to get into this position, just take your left foot forward, drag on your hamstring. That's going to get your pelvis underneath you. You're still turning to the right. You're bicep curling with an exhale, and then you're inhaling up overhead. So I want you to do that 6 to 8 times on each side. If you're Justine, you're just going to grab onto your weight. You're going to do a clean and a push press for 6 to 8 reps. So you're here, and you're going to push pressing the weight up overhead. Down, clean, push press. Down, clean, push press. Perfect. Hi, Evelyn. Make sure you're turning towards the side that you're going to press with. Good. So Alex, move your left foot into the midline and then you could just turn so you don't have to actually move that whole like setup, but that shouldn't be in front of you. It should be turned over to the right. So by all means, if you can go on 2 knees and not turn, like, and be fine, great. Ross, take your foam roller, move it all the way over to the right. Turn to the right. And that's how you're going to press. You're going to press to the right. See how it gives you more room? So like anytime you have the foam roller, it shouldn't be straight in front of you. It should be turned to the side that you're pressing with. Okay. So I'm trying to get your rib cage back as you press overhead. So should I go with the most complicated version or should I wait? I think I'm going to go with the most complicated version because I feel like you guys are all very, yes, competent. Okay. I have on my screen, I have Marcy and Rebecca right next to each other, and Marcy's going like this and Rebecca's going like this. So this could be just body weight. So like, okay, to me, this stuff is so cool because like all the things I was always going for with kettlebells, I don't think I was ever like unlocking like the potential that I could have had because I was always kind of locking out my joints. And I think that that's a lot of people. Okay. So like I can work my entire body with this exercise and like really feel my deep abs. And like, we've already put the pieces together of these exercises before. Okay. So like, you know how we did like the knee bends earlier on? Well, we're going to do a yielding split squat into a chopping Bosch clean. I know it sounds insane. So, but it's not. It's going to be great. Don't you love being the guinea pigs? I know you do. So if I'm here and I grab onto my weight, maybe it's 10 pounds, maybe it's no pounds right now. I'm going to do this. We've done this a million times. If I go onto my tippy toes, back into a lunge, right? So that's the start. I'm going tippy toes, chop, up, and then I'm resetting. So I'm going tippy toes up, chop to the right, chop to the left, down. I'm going to do
What kind of weight is that?
times, and then I'm going to come and answer your question. So I go like this, tippy toes, up, chop to my right, throw the weight across my body, and come into that Bosch clean.
Where do you put the weight once you're done? And once you step up, do you put it up? Or
Yeah, you're going like this across your body. So I'm going to turn this, and you can watch the whole thing. So this.
What kind of weight, Stacey?
Hmm?
What kind of weight? Like 15,
10
20,
pounds.
25?
10
10
pounds.
pounds. Okay.
Tippy toes, chop, up,
okay,
and then step down.
okay, cross your body up. Okay.
Michelle, step back with your left leg in the lunge. Yes. Yes. Watch the rib flare as you cross across your body. Think about like a diagonal, not as high when you go up to like the Bosch clean portion of it. So starting overhead, Christine, you're doing the same thing Michelle was doing. You want to keep your right foot forward. Don't worry, I'm going to get to everyone on the screen. Yes, Christine, got it. Tippy toes, chop, across, down. Perfect. So I want you to think about this. If you're like, I don't really feel this as much as she's saying, I want you to fucking throw that weight across your body with your hips. Like, ooh. And I don't want you to be like babying the weight when you come down in the lunge either. Like smash it down into the lunge and smash it forward. Yes. Alex is going to feel her ass tomorrow. Yes. Nice. I hope everyone's heart rate's getting elevated.
Once I figured these out, I really like these.
I know. That's why I'm like, this is so fun. And once you realize how sore they get you too, I'm not so sure you're going to go as hard the second time because you'll be like, oh, fuck, why is it so sore?
What was it that we did the other week, the last workout that made us so sore in our
The
abs?
broad jumps. So it's fucking crazy. You know how I always talk about like my face and my head and my neck? So like for a really long time, I was like so locked up through my pelvis, and then like I'd use my neck for everything. Ever since I did that, when I went back to like broad jumps, I get so sore in my abs. And that's like what you should feel because you're really managing that pressure as you go into that extended position. So like I hope you all get the opportunity to like feel that this month because it's really awesome. So it's just a superset, those two exercises. So like your active rest is either like you're in that tall kneeling position, you're getting some rotation, you're doing that bicep curl and that press. Justine's isn't really active rest because she's going to fucking do a push press, but it takes a little bit less time to be able to do the push press as you
I was gonna say, screw you. That was like straight up cardio.
exactly. So you're gonna have more rest at the end of that, right? Because it's gonna take a shorter amount of time than to do a bicep curl and press. I'm gonna review what I'm talking about with the bicep curl and press because I think we're still kind of missing the point. So if I'm like this, the option is I can start on two knees. If you have a very dumped forward pelvis, tall kneeling might feel like shit, okay? So like if I was to just reach out in front of me, do you see how this enables me to sit more in a stacked position? I can turn my pelvis and my rib cage towards the side that I'm pressing on, okay? So like I just turned my whole rib cage pelvis to the right. I'm gonna exhale bicep curl, inhale overhead press. Exhale bicep curl, inhale overhead press. Now, if you hate on two knees, you're just gonna take your left foot forward. You're gonna drag on your hamstring, which is gonna get your pelvis more underneath you, still turning to the right. Whatever knee is down, that's the arm you're pressing with. And you wanna give me 6 to 8 in the tall kneeling position. Now, if you were to watch it from this side, and the left side's generally more challenging because of the left rib flare, you want to see my pelvis and my rib cage turn to the left. So like I'm not going to flare through my ribs because now I have space up top to turn. Okay? Nice. Alex, this is like night and day. So much better. Good. Katie Morgan likes it. It looks good. I'm going to demonstrate those more challenging exercises again. Good. Marcy, that looks good. Bend your knee more and think about not doing this at the top of the movement. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in on myself and do like a couple of repetitions, maybe on each side. For you guys. So, and you can do this with like a medicine ball. You can do this with a heavier weight, but I'd rather have you start where light so that you get it. So if my feet are together, I'm going to reach overhead. Now this is like the ultimate stack because I have my ankle, my knee, my hip, my ribs, my shoulder, my elbow, and my wrist, like all in a line, right? So tippy toes. And then I'm going to step back. Now, I step back with my left leg and I chop over my right. I find that length and then I throw the weight all the way up, right? But look at my rib cage and my pelvis and my knee is still bent. I don't want to be like this when I do that, okay? Come on my tippy toes. Exhale, chop, lift, down, reset. Inhale, chop, down, throw it out. What do I always say about day C? Because that's what this is. It's always going to be more strength and conditioning, and I do that intentionally, okay? I know humans need both strength and cardio, right? And you can get both. And you can get it really smart with rotation and co-contractions and like power, right? These are all things that we start to lose as we get older, but we're incorporating all these things in the workouts. So when you go to chop down, Rebecca, do a good like exhale. So inhale overhead, exhale, find your heel, chop down. Now throw it. Yep. Justine, now do you know why I wanted you to come?
Because you wanted to destroy me.
Wait, what did Marcy say? She emailed me. She's like, oh, wow, that looks exhausting. Evelyn, you're so strong.
I really like some airflow or some air conditioning though.
Cool. Everybody here is like, oh, we just want to sweat like you are right now.
Where is she?
Colombia.
Oh, nice.
I know. So usually, you know, I do 3 sets, right? I can see by everyone's faces. I still have 2 other exercises that I want to go through. So we'll probably do 2 and we'll do 2. But again, that is why I put up multiple recordings during the month, because the first time you do a workout is not going to look like the last time you do a workout, right? You're learning the exercises. There is like definitely like a learning curve associated with this stuff. Jen, just switch your legs. So we're going to do that dead bug drop that I really like, where we have a yoga block or something that you're pushing into. And it could even just be your other hand. So you're going to be laying down on your back. You're going to have a dumbbell in your hand. It's probably going to be 12 pounds max to start. So it could be 10 pounds, could be 12 pounds. Laying on my back. If I have a yoga block, I can use it. If I don't, I can just push my same side hand and knee into each other. So we'll figure it out together based off of the equipment that you have access to. So if I'm laying on my back and I have a yoga block, I'm going to take my right knee and my right elbow and I'm going to push them together. So that might mean that I'm just doing this. Same thing, right? The more I push into my hand, the more I push into my knee, the more I'm maintaining a stacked position. Okay. I'm going to put my weight in my opposite hand. So I'm going to show both sides because I don't want you guys to be confused. But think same arm, same leg. Then you're going to reach up, reach your shoulder blade up off of the floor. And then you're going to extend your right leg and your left leg and your left arm at the same time as you kind of drop this weight. So you're just going to go exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. Okay, so I'm here, same side, elbow and knee. Reach my right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, so you stack off the ground, and then you're going to go exhale, catch, inhale, exhale, catch, inhale, exhale, catch, inhale, exhale. Just try 8. And like, if it doesn't look like I'm catching it, that's normal, because like, I'm not going to try to fucking drop it on my face, but you should feel your abs when you do that. Nice. Love these creative solutions. Just watch out for the wall overhead, Ross. Does anybody feel their abs when they do that?
Abs?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, abs. Good. I don't want you to feel your fucking neck.
It's so different from one side to the other, though.
Which one do you feel more?
Like this side, left.
Okay. And when you are on your right, what do you feel?
Huh?
When you're blocked on your left, what do you feel?
I just have a harder time getting into my abs. Because maybe my lower back.
Because you're more forward on that side?
Yeah.
So
I feel
try
like
to-
I have less flexibility on the left. So like the hip really engages.
Okay. So what you can think about doing is like, you could make sure that that part of your back is like flat on the ground before you go, right? And you're pushing even harder into like the hand, into the knee, but down lower because you don't have that hip flexion available. Okay.
Yep.
Now we're going to do a lateral lunge to curtsy lunge. So like this has been done a million times. We've done it in like a warm up in like month 3. We've done it as a strength exercise. Now we're doing it as something more dynamic, right? Like all these exercises, they can have different like usages, right? Like I could use it as more conditioning. I can use it as like getting internal rotation in a warm up. I can use it for strength, coordination, blah, blah, blah. So now I'm using it to smoke you. Let's just be honest. So we're going to go into a lateral lunge, into a curtsy lunge. We're going to do it body weight, but then I'm going to show you what it could look like with like a 10-pound weight where you're kind of moving and rotating a little bit more through the torso. So if I clear off space, because my legs are going to go every which way and I don't want to break my ankle. First things first. If I said that I was doing a lateral lunge, I sit into my right leg. I push out of my right leg and I come back and I do a curtsy lunge with my left leg. Okay, so I go lateral lunge, curtsy lunge, lateral lunge, curtsy lunge, lateral lunge, curtsy lunge. I'm working both legs, right? Say I did 8 on each leg. I'm going to show you what the option looks like with a light weight. I can grab onto a weight. I can go lateral lunge, curtsy lunge, lateral lunge, curtsy lunge, lateral lunge, curtsy lunge, right? So I'm just chopping across the midline of my body and sitting into each hip. Do you have to do that? No. This headband is so weird. Nice. So what can we do with some of these exercises? You could try to breathe through your nose as much as possible. Or it could be like, fuck off. The good news is any workout that I give you guys is the same workout that I do. So like, I do know
That doesn't help.
the feeling.
Left side is so much harder on that one. So
Okay,
funny.
well, what I want you guys to see is just like how much can change in a month. Like that's why you follow like periodized programming, because when you start something new, you have this end result, you feel something in your body, and then over time, and the more you practice it, the more it has the possibility to change. So if you're laying down on your back again, you're going to try to think, let's say I struggled a little bit more on one side. Let's pay attention to what's happening at the pelvis. If it's forward more on that left-hand side, get your pelvis underneath you more from the start and just see like what's my available hip flexion. So maybe it's just here and it's with my hand instead of my elbow. And I'm staying in this like stacked position that's not here, right? Like here, okay? Then I'm reaching up. This is my inhale. And then I'm just letting it go, exhale. Now, do I have to have this leg straight? No, I can literally just do this. Well, obviously, the longer lever is harder. I use the inhale as an opportunity, just like we did at the wall in the beginning. Can I sense that whole like left side of my back? I don't know about you, but I feel my ass. And I don't really have to like drop and catch. I just kind of like that feeling.
I felt it more on that side. I just really have to push into the block.
Yeah, I think you're like, and that's going to be the same with Ross. Like, I would not have it be your elbow, Ross. I would have it be your hand. Take your hand and push it into the.
So I did that on the left. It worked great. On the right, I have more flexibility, so I can use.
Okay, cool.
Is that also like hip flexor strength or like,
I think it
I
goes
feel like
hand in hand because if your pelvis has been forward for such a long time, obviously your hip flexor is going to be weaker, but it also doesn't
Right.
have access to the full range of motion. So it's not just like strengthen your hip flexor, it's work on the position of your pelvis always first, right? Now we're going to go back. We're going to do one more set of the lateral lunge to the curtsy. Just do 6 because 6 is like 12 and then we'll cool down and be done. I do think it's interesting, like to what Jen was saying, like, oh, the left side and the right side feel different, but you're getting internal rotation on both sides, regardless of like what you're doing, right? So that's good. When you do the right side, it helps the left side. When you do the left side, it helps the right side. So I'm literally just doing the same thing that like, I don't know, when we do like the skaters and we kind of go side to side, which we didn't do today, but it's similar to that chopping motion. So if I start with my legs together, I'm going to go to my left and then I'm going to load into my right, load into my left, load into my right, load into my left, right. And why do we want this rotation? It keeps your rib cage stacked over your pelvis, right? If I turn, I can't rib flare as easy. I'm going to get posterior expansion on the backside of my body so that my rib cage can physically come back. Because if I'm in this like, oh, I'm so tight through my back, my abs are kind of blown out, I can't get my ribs back, right? I can't get my center of mass back. So I feel like a good breathing drill to go here would just be like an inverted rock back. So that can be done one of 2 ways. If you're really tired, just take a foam roller, elevate your butt on it. This is good for people who have a pelvis that's like very dumped forward, or inverted as in my knees are going to go up on a block. And I'm going to show both of them. So like if you're tighter through your upper body, you're going to want to do the second variation. If you have a pelvis that's dumped more forward, you can do this variation. And again, I'm going to show both. So if I go like this and I just let my pelvis get underneath me, and I'm just breathing, inhale, I'm letting like my vagina and my butt relax, exhale, emptying from the bottom, inhaling again, I'm breathing into the backside of my rib cage, and I'm just letting my pelvis go into that posterior orientation. Now, could I do this? Grab onto my block, put my knees on the block, drag my feet up the wall. I'm going to get that uppermost portion of my rib cage that doesn't really get air all the time going. I'm not overly flexing through my low back. I'm dragging up the wall. Inhale into all those areas of the rib cage. Maybe I do that waterfall inhale where I'm like breathing 3 times to get to different places. And then I'm exhaling, emptying from the bottom. Allowing the ribs to come back. And I'm emptying from the bottom. And again, inhale. Exhale. And to me, the uppermost part of the rib cage is definitely the most challenging to like figure out, right? If you have the overhead flexion limitations, like up top is the place that we're not getting the air. And that's definitely a long game in getting that. You guys crushed it. Good job. Thanks for being the guinea pigs. Let me know what you feel. Don't feel bad if like there's a little bit of like, oh, I kind of feel my knee. It'll be fine. Okay. Keep me in the loop and I'll see you Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.